The 2025 NFL season begins July 31st. Every year, there's surprise teams that make it and surprise teams that are way worse than everybody thought. I think I know what the surprise teams will be this year because I went through game by game every team's schedule, and I have my winners for the regular season and the winner of the Super Bowl. So I'll be taking you through each division standings over the entire season. Then we'll go into the playoffs, and we'll end with the Super Bowl winner of the 2025-2026 NFL season. I'm going to start out with the AFC West. So the AFC West, we're going to start at the bottom. Probably not too surprising, the Raiders at 6-11. Now the Raiders added Geno Smith. They added Ashton Jeanty, who I think is going to have a huge year. But they're in a tough division, and the team does not excite me too much. At third in AFC West, the Chargers, I have them going 9-8. I didn't see them making any big enough moves for them to make a huge step this year. Now at second in the division, the Broncos at 11-6. I like what I saw from Bo Nix. The Broncos have had a great defense for a while, and I think their offense is going to start clicking more and more. 11-6 for the Denver Broncos. And no surprise, at the top of the division, the Chiefs, I have them going 14-3. There's not too much to say about the Chiefs. They're a great team. We know what they're going to be. In the AFC East, at the very bottom, I have the Jets, and I'm pretty mean to the Jets here. 2-15 for the Jets. I'm just going to move straight on to the Dolphins. The Jets are really bad. The Dolphins go 5-12. I just don't see them. I don't see them doing any good. Tua's probably going to get injured again. I mean, the guy should retire. Honestly, I really fear for his brain health. But the Patriots, I have them going number 2, 10-7. Patriots are going to do a lot better this year. If Vrabel, I love Vrabel. He's going to do great things for the Patriots. Drake May is going to play better. I like what I'm seeing out of the Patriots. Then at the top of the East, once again, just like the Chiefs division, really no surprise. Bills at the top of the division. I mean, what can you say? They're an amazing team. They're so fun to watch. Bills 13-4. In the AFC South, I've been starting at the bottom of the standings for each division. But I just have to go right into it. I have to start from the top here. The Texans aren't winning. The Jaguars are going to win the AFC South. I have the Jaguars going 12-5. 12-5. And I know you're thinking I'm crazy. Jaguars are 12-5. Don't click off the video. All right, I'm not insane. If you would have asked me, Aiden, what do you think the Jaguars, what would their record be this year? Before I went game by game, I would have said, 8 wins, 9 wins, 7 wins. But go to the Jaguars schedule if you don't believe me. This team easily will win at least 8 games. I guarantee they're going to win at least 8 games. If Trevor Lawrence has an all-right season, they'll get 10 games. If Trevor Lawrence is 70% of the quarterback the Jaguars drafted him to be, they'll get 12 wins, and I think he will be this year. But then going through the rest of the division, the Texans going 11-6. C.J. Stroud's been great. Their offense has been great, or the skill position players have been great on the offense, but their line really needs to step up. Titans 4-13. They'll probably be somewhere around that. And then the Colts, I have the Colts at 1-16. Their organization's pretty incompetent. Jonathan Taylor's probably going to play half the season. Their quarterback room is Daniel Jones, who couldn't even play for the New York Giants last year, and then Anthony Richardson, who has never had a winning season in football in his life. Okay, so the Colts are going 1-16. Over to the AFC North. Some big names in this division. We're going to start at the bottom. It's not going to be the Browns this year. It's going to be the Steelers, not the Ravens. I almost said the Ravens. Then you could click off the video if I said the Ravens. But the Steelers, I think this is going to be the first year in a long time, I guess of Mike Tomlin's whole career, that he doesn't have a winning season. I have the Browns going 7-10. I think the Browns are better than what a lot of people think. But the quarterback situation is going to be a little dodgy. Flacco's going to have some bad interception games, and maybe Shador will play. Maybe Gabriel will play. Maybe Shador will get arrested again or pulled over again. So we'll see with the Browns, but I think their defense is going to be great. They're going to have some great players on the offense, but they'll go 7-10, maybe around that 8-9 or something. Then for the top, I have the Ravens and Bengals tied at 11-6. Now the Ravens in this scenario would be the first seed in the division. But the Ravens and Bengals both going 11-6. I think the Bengals' schedule really works out well for them. The first week they will play my Browns, and the Bengals have lost 4 week 1 games in a row, 3 week 1 games in a row. So I just don't see that happening again for them. I think they're going to come out with the attitude that they have to win. So they'll start out with a win against the Browns, and then the last game of the season is against the Browns. Now I think by the end of the season, the Browns will probably have given up on their year. They'll probably take out their players, and the Bengals will be able to get that last 11th win and really set them up for the playoff. So 11-6 for the Bengals, and then we know what the Ravens are. 11-6. I think everyone knows they're gonna be around somewhere around that. So 11-6 for the Ravens. So these are the teams that will be in the playoffs for the AFC. So we have the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Ravens, and you'll notice the Chargers 9-8 did not make the playoffs. They won't make the playoffs. The Patriots 10-7 won't make the playoffs, even though I like the Patriots a lot this year. The Bengals will be in, the Jaguars will be in, the Texans will be in, and the Bills will be in. Moving on to the NFC. We're going to start in the NFC North. Tough division this year. Very, very, very tough division this year. At the bottom 2 teams, the Bears are going to be ahead of the Vikings, but those are going to be the bottom 2 teams at 10-7. I mean, if J.J. McCarthy is great, the Vikings could easily get 12 wins this year. Bears 10-7. I really, really like the Bears this year, but they do have a tough schedule, so 10-7 I think is actually pretty good for them. I have the Packers going 11-6, right above their counterparts. But yeah, the Packers are a great team. They're not really going to change too much of what they've been last year. Then at top of the division, obviously, is the Lions, 12-5. I know their coordinator's left. I'm still pretty confident about the Lions. I think they'll have another great year, 12-5. Going to the NFC South, topping out the division. Let's start at the top here. Buccaneers, 12-5. That's right, same record as the Lions. The Buccaneers I have going 12-5. Their offense is explosive. Let's see if Baker Mayfield keeps his confidence this year. If he can, oh my goodness, he might be an MVP candidate. But the Buccaneers, I think, are going to be really good, obviously, 12-5. And then rounding out the division, we have Falcons 8-9, Panthers 5-12, Saints 1-16. The Saints are terrible. We know that. The Panthers 5-12. There was a little good flashes out of Bryce Young last year. They added some good. They added Tet to their team as a receiver. They added some other pieces, but they'll be on a right team. 5-12 for the Panthers. Then I have the Falcons at 8-9. So Penix, once again, we don't really know what Penix is going to be. If he's good, the Falcons could do better than this, but I don't think much better. I think that 8-9 range is right around where they'll be, maybe 7-9 wins. Going over to the NFC West, I have at the bottom, obviously, the Cardinals 6-11. Now, I think that's obvious. Let me know in the comments if this is obvious, because I was watching some other NFL predictions, and someone in the comments was like, how dare you put my Cardinals at the bottom? Cardinals are going to be number 1 in the division. Am I crazy for thinking the Cardinals are going to be at the bottom? I mean, if you think the Cardinals are going to be good this year, please let me know, because I just don't see it. Then I have the Seahawks at 10-7. They're going to be just about what they were last year, maybe a little worse. Can Sam Darnold do what he did last year? But even if he does, he's just going to be another Geno Smith. So 10-7 for the Seahawks. 49ers, I'm putting the 49ers at 11-6 this year. If you would have asked me what their record would be, I would have never said that high. I'm surprised by it myself, but they have a really easy schedule. I think the 49ers go 11-6 this year. And I think they're going to be one of those teams where the record is a little better or better than what they are. Like, if you think about the Steelers a few years ago when they had like 14 wins or something crazy like that, and then they got knocked out first round by the Browns, I think that's how the 49ers are going to be this year. The record is better than what the team actually is. Then at the top of the division, I have the Rams going 12-5. I think it's a pretty consensus pick that the Rams are the best in the division. I really like Stafford. Obviously, their offense is going to be good. If Puka can stay healthy, maybe he could have a MVP wide receiver season. Honestly, if there was going to be one guy this year that was a non-quarterback to get an MVP, maybe Puka if he can stay healthy. So Rams 12-5, rounding out that division. Now in the NFC East, there's going to be a lot of people mad about this one. We're going to start out with the obvious. Or actually, let me take that back. Not the obvious. This might get a lot of people mad. At the bottom of the division, the Cowboys. Not the Giants. The Cowboys are at the bottom of the division this year. I think they're the worst team in the NFC East. I'm not a fan of Dak. The rest of the team, they're not electric. I like electric teams. I like a team that you get excited for. And I'm not excited about the Cowboys. They'll be all right again and again and again, like they have been. They're all right. Then, like I was talking about, the Giants, they're not going up too high. They're going to be third in the division, 8-9. I really like what they have there. Their running back is going to be, I think, is going to have a great year. Malik Neighbors, hopefully he can stay healthy. I think he'll have a great year. Russ, I think he'll be a good leader for the team, and he'll be better than Daniel Jones. That's what's going to matter. And then Dable, I'm not really a fan of Dable, but he needs this. He needs this for his career. So let's see what he does. I have the Giants going 8-9. Then at the top of the division, tied are the Commanders and the Eagles. And they're tied at 9-8. And I know that looks crazy. The Eagles and the Commanders both going 9-8. But I actually have the Eagles starting out 6-0 and ending the season 3-8. They have a really, really tough schedule. Even if the Eagles, have like 5 amazing games where they beat some of the top teams in the league, they could still end off with 9 wins, which is what I think they will have. They have a really tough schedule. I don't see the Eagles having the best record in the NFL, especially with the tough schedule they have. And the Commanders, too, they have a tough schedule, and they're still becoming a more experienced team. So 9-8 for the Commanders, but I think they're going to be a great team still, though. Rounding out the NFC's playoff teams, we have the Lions, the Packers, the Bears don't make it in, even though if they were in, I think they would do really good in the playoffs. The Rams, the Buccaneers, remember the Lions, Buccaneers, and Rams all 12-5. The 49ers make it in. I would have never said that before going game to game. The Seahawks and the Commanders make it in. The Eagles do not. The Eagles miss the playoffs next year. I believe the Eagles will miss the playoffs in the 2025 NFL season. So going in to the first week of the 2025 NFL playoffs, here's how the playoffs look. On the AFC side, we have the 4th seed Ravens going up against the 5th seed Texans. We have the 3 seed Jaguars. I know, that's crazy. Going up against the 6 seed Bengals. We have the 2 seed Bills going up against the 7th seed Broncos. And we have the number 1 seed Chiefs getting a bye week to start out. Then on the NFC side, we have the 4th seed Commanders going up against the 5th seed Packers. The 3rd seed Rams going up against the 6th seed 49ers. It'll be an NFC West division game there. And we have the 2 seed Buccaneers going against the 7th seed Seahawks, with the number 1 seed Lions getting another bye week this year. So round 1, we'll start on the NFC side. We'll stay with it. The Commanders versus the Packers. I don't love Jordan Love in the playoffs. I love Jaden Daniels in the playoffs. We're going the Commanders. The Rams versus the 49ers. Now, like I said, the 49ers got to the playoffs with 11-6 record because of their schedule. I think the Rams are a lot better than the 49ers. I'm taking the Rams. The 2 seed Buccaneers versus 7th seed Seahawks. Whew! I don't trust Sam Darnold. I think once you get in the playoffs, you can make it to the playoffs with a quarterback like Sam Darnold, but once you get in, you really need a guy who's trustworthy in the playoffs. The Seahawks will be out. Going to the AFC side, the Ravens versus the Texans. I'm taking the Ravens. They're a really good team. They're just better than the Texans. The 3 seed Jaguars versus 6 seed Bengals, and you probably think I'm crazy that the Jaguars went 12-5 and were the 3 seed in the AFC. But don't worry, their fairy tale season ends right there. I don't think Jaguars make it past the Bengals. I think the Bengals' offense will just outscore them. The 2 seed Bills versus 7 seed Broncos. It's kind of like the Ravens-Texans matchup. The Bills are just better than the Broncos, I believe. I think they'll just take care of that one. So, to the second round, to the divisional round, we'll stay in the AFC. And with the seeding, the Bills would end up playing the Ravens. The Chiefs would be playing the Bengals. And the Bills and Ravens game, a repeat of last year, this year, I'll be taking the Ravens. I think they come out with it. And that would be a tough game. It could go either way, but I would have my pick on the Ravens. I think Lamar would finally, show up in the playoffs. And then Chiefs versus Bengals. Joe Burrow's going to play great, but the Bengals defense is not going to be. They're not going to have enough offense to overcome their bad defense. The Chiefs are going to be clicking everywhere. So I'll take the Chiefs going on to the championship game. Then on the divisional round of the NFC side, we have Lions versus Commanders and Bucks versus the Rams. Bucks versus the Rams, kind of the same thing what I was talking about with the Seahawks, that I didn't trust Sam Darnold. At this point, I don't trust Baker Mayfield, especially against Matthew Stafford. Experienced quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think one of the best quarterbacks that I've seen play in my life. So I'm taking the Rams over the Buccaneers. Then the Lions versus Commanders. Once again, I believe the Lions will get knocked off after having a bye week. I just believe Jaden Daniels is going to be electric this year with the team. The Commanders move on. Going on to the championship round of the playoffs, we have Chiefs versus Ravens in the AFC and Commanders versus Rams in the NFC. Chiefs versus Ravens, another matchup that we've seen before. I just believe that the Chiefs are just too good. I think they'll go through. Chiefs to the Super Bowl. Once again, 4th time in a row. All right, I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I think the Chiefs will be going back to the Super Bowl next year. And the Commanders versus the Rams. This is going to be a great game. Wow, what a matchup that would be. I don't think the Commanders get lit up like they did the year before. But obviously with the Rams, have a really great team. It would be a close one. But the Commanders make it on. I really like Jaden Daniels next year, especially in the playoffs. I think that the Commanders will match up with a lot of teams really well in the NFC. So it leaves the Chiefs and Commanders Super Bowl. 4th time in a row the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. Jaden Daniels gets to his first Super Bowl in his second year. Kind of reminds me of Patrick Mahomes a little bit. Right? The Chiefs team is going to be clicking everywhere. Jaden Daniels is going to be doing a lot of special plays, same as Mahomes. But next year, this is my take, the 2025 NFL season Super Bowl winner will be the Washington Commanders. From where I see, they'll land in the playoffs, the matchups that they get, I think they're going to be just a really good playoff team. Like, just everything on the line, this team against your team. The Commanders are really, really good. They're going to be really, really good, just like the same way we saw last year. And just another year of experience, they're going to be great. Wow. The Commanders is my pick for the 2025 NFL season Super Bowl winner. So let me know what you think. I'm going to be coming back to this video probably about halfway through the NFL season. And then once again at the very end, I'll see how my predictions really worked out. But the key takeaways, the Jaguars are going to have a great fantasy year, 12-5. I think they're going to really outperform everyone's expectations. And the Commanders are going to win the Super Bowl. That is my pick. You heard it here first. The Commanders will win the Super Bowl. It's a beautiful day out here near the Sandbar. Now I'm starting to feel like home in this podcast. So let me know in the comments what you want to see. Let me know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, and I'll see you next time.